Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Shrawan. The top stories first. Government imposes odd-even number system for vehicles from today, bans movement of people during the night. Government tightens movement of people entering Kathmandu Valley, only essential vehicles allowed to enter. Price of gold crosses 100,000 rupees mark, reaches an all-time high record in the country. Global coronavirus deaths exceed 700,000. One person dies every 15 seconds on average. And Manchester United and Inter Milan reach last 8 of Europa League. Wolves and Rangers fight for their places tonight. And now the news in detail. The government has imposed odd-even number system for private and public vehicles from today. Spokesperson at the Ministry of Health and Home Affairs, Chakra Bahadur Buda, confirmed the latest decision of the government, which was taken considering the increased risk of coronavirus in the country. All 3 districts of Kathmandu Valley will have to follow this rule effective from today. Similarly, other districts with more than 200 cases of coronavirus will also have to adhere to this rule. Chief of Metropolitan Traffic Police Division, SSP Bhim Prasad Thakal, clarified that vehicles with odd number can operate on odd days of the month and even numbers can ply on even days. The government has also banned people from venturing out of their homes from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 60 in the country. The government yesterday confirmed 2 new deaths in Parsa, taking the toll to 60. An 18-year-old girl and a 46-year-old man from Parsa have become the latest victims of the deadly disease that has infected more than 21,000 people in the country. Spokesperson at the Ministry of Health and Population, Dr. Jageshwar Gautam, informed that the total number of coronavirus cases in Nepal has reached 21,390. According to Gautam, 81 new cases were confirmed yesterday. Among the new cases, 57 cases were reported in Kathmandu and 5 in Lalitpur. So far, 15,156 people have recovered from the disease. The number of active cases is 6,174. According to the ministry, altogether 9,925 persons are being kept in quarantine facilities across the country. The government has intensified monitoring at entry points of the Kathmandu Valley with the increase in number of cases of coronavirus in the country. Authorities have also stopped passengers coming to the entry points on vehicles entering the valley by foot. A report.
People entering Kathmandu Valley has drastically increased ever since the government announced the lockdown has been lifted. The government then started to take swab samples from these entry points. As the cases of coronavirus continue to increase, the government has restricted vehicular movements at these places. Police personnel stationed at the checkpoints have started to send any person or vehicle without a valid pass back from the entry points. Previously, people without pass could come up to the border on a vehicle and walk through the entry point into the valley. But that has been stopped now. Police have also apprehended 25 people from the Saga entry point who were found to be without mask. Similarly, around 400 to 600 vehicles enter into the Kathmandu Valley every day through the Nagdunga checkpoint. These are the pictures from the entry point where police have been conducting rigorous checking. The increase in coronavirus cases in the Kathmandu Valley has been attributed to the number of new people entering the valley. This has prompted the government to tighten security at all entry points like Nagdunga, Saga and Forping. The Health Ministry has confirmed that of the 10,853 tests conducted from these border points, 40 tested positive for coronavirus. The Home Ministry, on the other hand, had also issued a notice last week to not allow any vehicles except emergency to enter into the valley from 7 in the evening till 7 a.m. next morning. The issuance of inter-district travel pass has also been stopped to control the movement of people.
This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. A committee has been formed to conduct a detailed study regarding the necessary legal and institutional framework required for acid and other chemicals. The committee will submit its report with recommendation to the Office of the Attorney General within a month. A report.
The Office of the Attorney General yesterday set up a 9-member committee led by Deputy Attorney General Bishwaraj Koirala. The committee has been mandated to conduct a thorough analysis of laws and practices regarding the import, production, sales and distribution, transport, export and collection of acid and other related chemicals, and submit a report to the Office of Attorney General within a month. Among the members of the committee are Joint Secretary of Law Ministry Home Bahadur Kesi, Joint Secretary of Home Ministry and 3 representatives from different units within the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supplies. Likewise, the committee also consists of Dr. Vikas Dev Kota of Health Ministry, Roshni Karki of Ministry of Women, Children and Senior Citizen, and Joint Attorney General Gyan Prasad Bhushal as members. The increase in acid attacks of late and lack of proper legal framework to control such crime has led to the formation of the committee, informed the Office of the Attorney General.
बाहिरबाट यदि हामी आयात गर्छौँ भने आयात गर्नलाई मात्रा तोकिरहेका छौँ कि छैनौँ, तोकिएको मात्राभन्दा बढ्ता ल्याइरहेको छ कि छैन, ल्याइरहेको मात्रा बजारमा सबै गइरहेको छ कि छैन, जे प्रयोजनको निम्ति लाने भनिएको छ त्यो प्रयोजन खोल्नुपर्छ कि पर्दैन, एसिड सजिलै प्राप्त गर्नुपर्ने चिज हो कि होइन। बजारमा हामी अन्य खाद्य पदार्थहरू जसरी प्राप्त गर्छौँ, अन्य निर्माणका सामग्रीहरू जसरी प्राप्त गर्छौँ, त्यसरी नै प्राप्त गर्नुपर्ने चिज या वस्तु यो हो कि होइन। यदि यो मेरो विचारमा त्यसरी प्राप्त गर्नुपर्ने चिज होइन, यसलाई नियमन गर्न जरुरी छ।
The victims have demanded life imprisonment and a reciprocal of treatment for acid attackers.
हजुरहरूले सायद सुन्दाखेरि यो बदलाको भावना हुन्छ हैन, तर एसिडको बदला एसिड नै भयो भने कस्तो पनि एकजना पनि अर्को महिला कसैमाथि एसिड अट्याक हुँदैन।
र यो दाग छ नि, यो दाग हाम्रो कहिले पनि जाँदैन, यो दाग हाम्रो जीवनभरिको लागि नै बस्छ। त्यही भएर म भन्न चाहन्छु कि अपराधीले चाहिँ जन्मकैदै हुनुपर्छ।
According to reports, sulfuric acid is widely used in batteries and inverters. Such acid and chemicals are easily available at electronic and solar inverter shops. The Office of the Attorney General is of the view that control and regulation in sales and distribution of acid will help in mitigation of the heinous crimes such as acid attacks.
On 17th May of 2017, 2 major communist parties of Nepal had joined hands to form the Unified Communist Party on the occasion of Madan Ashrit Memorial Day. The cadres and leaders have been left disheartened as the unification process remains half done even after 2.5 years down the line. The then Communist Party of Nepal Unified Marxist-Leninist and Communist Party of Nepal Maoist Centre, the 2 major leftist parties of Nepal, had agreed to strengthen the Communist alliance via unification some 42 months back. However, cadres have lamented that even basic procedures of unification are yet unaccomplished. The internal rift in the ruling party can be summarized in 3 points. Firstly, the differing view on one individual, one post. Secondly, endorsing the MCC agreement. And thirdly, the relationship between the party and the government. During the 7 points agreement signed on February 19, 2018, the unanimous agreement and signature of both party chairmen were considered mandatory before reaching any decision. The General Convention of the party shall also be based on common understanding and agreement of chairmen, the agreement further says. However, the rivalry between the two chairmen have left a huge question on the alliance and credibility of the leftists within the general public. Instead of joining hands to address the coronavirus crisis, border dispute, revitalization of economy and employment generation activities, personal conflict among leaders has taken center stage. With the increase in coronavirus cases across the country, entry into the country's main administrative center, Singadarbar, has been tightened. The police battalion at Singadarbar informed that from Wednesday, except for the entry of essential people, all other entries have to go through rigorous checks before being allowed to go through. To avoid unlawful entry, all temporary passes have been suspended. Staff from the offices inside Singadarbar, emergency personnel and press pass holders have only been allowed to enter the office premises. Sources have confirmed that the meeting of the Parliamentary Committee will also be suspended for a while to avoid the formation of crowds. 62 cases of coronavirus were confirmed within the Kathmandu Valley yesterday. The government has also been in constant communication with experts to discuss the possible re-imposition of the lockdown. And now the news from the economic front. The price of gold has crossed the mark of Rs 100,000 per 11 grams for the first time in the country. Fine gold is being traded for a record high price of Rs 101,400 per 11 grams, according to the Federation of Nepal Gold and Silver Dealers Association. The new price on Wednesday is an overnight increase of Rs 1,600 per 11 grams. The price of gold in the domestic market on Tuesday was Rs 99,800 per tola. Meanwhile, silver is being traded for Rs 1,295 per 11 grams, Rs 65 up from Rs 1250 a day ago. Gold dealers say that the price of the precious yellow metal is steadily rising due to the high demand for gold in the international market. It is said that investors are interested in gold to secure their investment in the international market amid risk of coronavirus pandemic. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. The global death toll from coronavirus surpassed 700,000 on Wednesday, according to a Reuters tally. The news agency reported that the United States leads the fatalities, followed by Brazil, India and Mexico. Nearly 5,900 people are dying every 24 hours from COVID-19 on average, according to Reuters' calculation based on data from the past 2 weeks. That equates to 247 people per hour, or 1 person every 15 seconds. US President Donald Trump said the coronavirus outbreak is as under control as it can get in the United States, where more than 155,000 people have died amid a patchy response to the public health crisis that has failed to stem a rise in cases. The pandemic was initially slower to reach Latin America, which is home to about 640 million people, than much of the world. But officials have since struggled to control its spread because of the region's poverty and densely packed cities. More than 100 million people across Latin America and the Caribbean live in slums, according to the United Nations Human Settlements Program. Many have jobs in the informal sector with little in the way of a social safety net and have continued to work throughout the pandemic. Australia, Japan, Hong Kong, Bolivia, Sudan, Ethiopia, Bulgaria, Belgium, Uzbekistan and Israel are all recently had record increases in cases. With the heavy deployment of troops and curbs on public movement, Indian authorities kept a tight lid on potential protests in Kashmir on Wednesday. The measures were taken as India marked the first anniversary of the revocation of the disputed region's semi-autonomy, Reuters reported. According to the news agency, local politicians were not permitted outside their homes to prevent them from calling street demonstrations or even from holding meetings. Last August, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government stripped Jammu and Kashmir of its special rights and split it into two federally administered territories. Kashmir is the only Muslim-majority state of India. The move infuriated many Kashmiris as well as neighboring Pakistan. Kashmir is claimed in full by India and Pakistan, which have gone to war twice over it and both rule parts of it. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. European football returned in the form of Europa League from yesterday as this year's football season draws to a close. Goals from former Manchester United striker Lukaku and former Tottenham player Christian Eriksen saw Inter Milan beat Getafe to reach the Europa League quarter-finals. Getafe's Jorge Molina dragged a second-half penalty wide after Diego Godin was found handling the ball inside the box. The game ended 2-0 in favour of the Italian side as they qualified to the final eight. English Manchester United came from behind to win against Austrian club LASK at Old Trafford. Anthony Martial came off the bench to score the winner 4 minutes from time as United are through to the final eight of the competition with an emphatic 7-1 aggregate score. Similarly, Shakhtar Donetsk and FC Copenhagen both won their respective ties to secure a place in the final eight. Today, other English club in the competition, Wolves, will go up against Greek side Olympiacos with a tie delicately poised at 1-1. Pakistan held their own in the first day of the first test against England yesterday in a day mostly affected by rain. Pakistan, who won the toss and decided to bat first at the Old Trafford cricket ground yesterday, were stuttering at 43 for 2 after 18 overs. However, Babar Azam and Shan Masood put on a 96-run unbeaten partnership to take Pakistan to 139 with the loss of 2 wickets. Azam scored an unbeaten 69 while Shan Masood scored 46 not out. Rain washed most of the day's play as only 49 overs could be bowled in the first day of the 3-match test series. If Pakistan can post an imposing first innings total, it would allow their pair of leg spinners, Yashir Shah and Sadaf Khan, more leeway on pitch that seems likely to turn as the match progresses. The rain forecasts are better for the next 3 days as both teams want a full match to be played across the remaining 4 days. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Government imposes odd-even number system for vehicles from today, bans movement of people during the night. Government tightens movement of people entering Kathmandu Valley, only essential vehicles allowed to enter. Price of gold crosses 100,000 rupees mark, reaches an all-time high record in the country. Global coronavirus deaths exceed 700,000. One person dies every 15 seconds on average. And Manchester United and Inter Milan reach last 8 of Europa League. Wolves and Rangers fight for their places tonight. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.